So our second presenter today is Smonda Kok, and she is a mental health dietitian at Eastern Health in Victoria.
Hello everyone, my name is Smonda. I'm one of the dietitians, a mental health dietitians with Eastern Health back in Melbourne. So today I'll just be presenting on my project on embedding dietetic support in the Clozapine clinic to support metabolic health. I'm just going to mention that there has been a lot of talks around Clozapine clinic today by Scott Clark. So yeah, his work has been really valuable as well. Firstly, I just want to acknowledge country and acknowledge lived experience as well. But I'm just going to cruise past this as it already has been done. Well, so back in April 2024, there was an opportunity that arose. So a Clozapine clinic was introduced to Eastern Health. And Clozapine clinic is targeted for consumers who have lived experience of schizophrenia, schizoaffective disorder, who are prescribed on Clozapine. So they're stable, no need for case management. And I thought, hey, what we have known so far about Clozapine medication itself, there are increased risk of people developing metabolic syndromes such as diabetes, heart conditions, and so I thought maybe a dietetic service would be valuable in this area. So what I've done was I've done some benchmarking. I reached out to 10 different public healthcare services and reached out whether they have a dietetic service embedded in their mental health services. So what I found out is that 7 out of 10 health services have a mental health dietitian embedded in their community. 4 out of 10 public health service has a Clozapine clinic or Clozapine program. But I was wondering whether there was a dietetic service embedded in those Clozapine program. Unfortunately, there's none. And we happen to be the very first one to test this out, whether this is valuable, and to have a dietetic service embedded in the Clozapine program. So what I've done is I looked at referral reasons. So what I mainly manage is metabolic syndrome, people coming in with type 2 diabetes diagnosis, or who has high cholesterol, who are at increased risk of heart diseases. Increased appetite as well, because we do know that Clozapine, the medication, has side effects such as a lot of weight gain and increased appetite. Gut side effects as well, constipation and Clozapine. Constipation is very common. And also food security, so education around cooking skills, meal prepping, budget meal planning, and grocery shopping. So what I've done is I have provided a dietetic service every Wednesday and offered this service to people who are managed under the Clozapine program. And this is free of charge, and usually I get the referrals from the psychiatrist or the nursing staff. So my aim was to establish this service and evaluate it. So the Clozapine clinic started in April 2024. The dietetic service started in June 2024. And hopefully in 1 year, what we hope is to manage around 20% of people who are prescribed on Clozapine as part of the program. So what I was hoping to measure is their health measurement, their overall well-being, their cardiometabolic biomarkers as well. So why does this matter? So as part of the Equally Well framework, one of the focus area was improving metabolic health, weight and diet. This was back in 2019. So a lot of people with mental illness face high cardiometabolic risk. And as dietitians, we play a huge role in advocating their physical health. So the things that I've done with consumers who come and see me, I focus on healthy eating on a budget, portion awareness and appetite management, eating for heart health, eating to support blood sugar levels, and choosing healthier snacks. These are all educations that I provide for consumers. But I also do provide practical activities as well, such as supermarket tours, applying skills in real-life settings, and also providing exercise recommendation as part of the Australian Physical Activity and Exercise Guidelines. So what did I measure? I measured their body weight, BMI, waist circumference, the lipid profiles, HbA1c, and the bowel action. I also measured their habits and their behavioral outcomes as well. So whether they're receptive of their nutrition education. And also the consumer experience as well. So getting the feedback on how valuable this service was to them, and also the satisfaction in the care, and also what the staff thought about this service being embedded in the Clozapine program. So this is the outcome that I've seen in the past year. So before they came to see a dietitian, what I've noticed that there was an average of 18 kilo weight gain within 3 to 12 months among the consumers that I was seeing. But with the dietetic support, what I've seen was there was 1.4 to 16 kilo weight reduction within the 6 to 12 months they were seeing me. There was 3 to 6 centimeters reduced waist circumference and greater nutrition engagement and lifestyle change. With their metabolic biomarkers, their cholesterol has improved. Before they came to see me, the cholesterol was above the range, now gone down to 3.7 to 4.3 within 6 months. HbA1c was stabilized or improved. And I got a lot of people who came to see me with bowel problems as well. Constipation, very common. They were opening once a week, now to every 1 to 2 days, which was amazing. In terms of the experience themselves, one of the things was access. We spoke a lot today on access, actually, how access is such a huge problem for a lot of consumers who asking to improve their physical health. So one of the feedback that I got from a lot of the consumers is that having a dietetic service embedded in Clozapine clinic, this integrated approach, really gives them a lot of reassurance, because seeing a dietitian can be very confronting as well, to acknowledging that, yeah, physical health is also an issue on top of their mental health as well. Another thing was that it's free of charge. I got so many people before they booked an appointment with me, they were like, how much does it cost? Do I have to pay? And I was like, no, it's all free of charge. And they were like, dietitians that I've seen in the past are expensive. I'm glad that I don't have to pay. They valued the support as well because of their improved nutrition, bowel movements. The quality of life has also improved alongside that. In terms of staff was very, very appreciative and very grateful. One of the quotes was, the familiar clinic setting and integrated approach was beneficial, especially for clozapine-related cardiometabolic health. So what worked well? Improved access and engagement for high-risk population. The fact that it's an integrated model, having a dietitian embedded in this Clozapine program. And to improve access to healthy diet and promoting physical health, physical activity, and their mental health as well. What I really hope for the future is that seeing the success that in the past year that I've worked with consumers, I really do hope that there will be dietitians and dietetic services embedded in many community health services. Clozapine clinic is one thing, but also community care teams as well, which is a huge thing. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for me today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Smonda. That was great. Anyone have any questions for Smonda?
Yeah, just a quick question. So I worked in community public service mental health teams, and there's sort of this little bit of attitude that, you know, you wouldn't get consumers to engage. They wouldn't do it. So I'm kind of interested whether the kind of expectations that you noticed from staff, whether some of those changed during the course of what you were doing as consumers did actually engage.
Absolutely. This is one of the common issues that we actually have seen. We have given all of our consumers a choice to see a dietitian, whether they want to be referred to a dietitian. And so often so when they do see the psychiatrist for their Clozapine review, I'm next door. So it's either whether it's an introduction hey, do you want to meet the dietitian? It wouldn't be a consult, it would just be to say hi, and here's some information. If you're interested, next month when you come back for a Clozapine review, how do you feel about booking in to see a dietitian? So it's always about more exposure and just seeing what a dietitian could do. But also they do get their bloods done every 6 months to check their cardiometabolic health. If they have seen that their cholesterol, their blood sugar levels has gone worse, there's always a dietitian next door that you can talk to about these things as well, if they are comfortable. Yeah.
Michael Tam, I'm a GP. Look, thanks for that. Really, really interesting. This is, I suppose, a sort of content type question. Anecdotally, at our service, we've sort of noticed quite a few people where one of the drivers for ill health was their consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that in your own service?
100%. 100%. I get a lot of consumers who come and see me telling me that they do not like the taste of water at all. Oh, how many times has everybody heard that? Even ourselves, we experience this ourselves as well. But what I do recommend is the sugar-free cordial, maybe flavored water, adding some fruits into the water to make it flavorful. But most of the time, I start with diet cordial first. But sometimes people think that that's just not realistic enough. They still want to stick with their fizzy sugar beverage, trialing the sugar-free like soft drinks. So it's just working alongside with them. The fantastic thing about this service as well, it's everything that I do is all patient-centered, tailored to the consumer themselves, because everybody's on their own journey and everybody is different as well. Yeah, so something like that is what I would do. Yeah.
So I work in the Clozapine service as well, and I think you're doing a really great job.
Oh, thank you.
It occurred to me recently, you know how people get the urge to eat because of the medication. Have you found a strategy to explain that to consumers? Because I think we've missed that a bit in our education, and
Yeah.
Because once we know something and understand it, it's easier to perhaps make a change.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of the times, you'll be quite surprised because I do a whole dietary assessment, seeing what they usually eat every day in 7 days. And what I often find is that a lot of people do tend to skip meals. And people who are living with schizophrenia and schizoaffective disorder, they don't have a usual day pattern where they wake up at 8 a.m. and sleep at 10 p.m. You'll often find people waking up at 2 p.m. and sleeping at 12 a.m. And they find themselves eating and snacking in the middle of the night, which is like 1 a.m. or something like that. And a lot of times they usually have 1 or 2 meals a day. And usually it's about education around how often do you eat during the day, and what the portion size, what does that look like? So we encourage at least 6 meals a day, small meals, portion size, and it's about choosing foods that are high in fiber, high in protein that will keep them fuller for longer as well. So it's around the education in that helps them manage their appetite better. Yeah. Yeah. You're not full. It's a satiety. Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, that also has to be a conversation with the psychiatrist as well, because the side effects from the medication, it's hard to control that side of the appetite. But when it comes to, but it's also practicing mindfulness as well. What does it feel when you are feeling full? And so myself, and we got my colleague here, Lucy, we do mindful eating with consumers. We do groups as well. And so we would give them a piece of mandarin that is so citrus, is sitting with the food, eating it, determining the taste, the texture, but also how does it feel in your stomach? Has that changed your appetite? If it hasn't and you're still hungry, have one more and keep on being mindful of how you're feeling. Yeah. No worries. Thank you so much.